Yep, ran into hell. Everything just decided to stop working on me. But guess what? I'm back here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show. I'm going to redo my entire intro. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to. While you're here, please wipe your feet, like, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. You don't think we deserve it? Just give us 5 anyway and gift it. So on today's episode, I told y'all we have a lot of stuff to talk about. And so we're going to jump right into this, like a whole bunch of defensive lists that seem to be kind of disrespectful. We're also running into Brent Venables is not a top 30 coach in college football, which is odd. And we'll wrap things up with that. But we're also going to talk about post-spring. Where are the Sooners and what you guys should be thinking about, understanding, and knowing when it comes to our squad. So, all right, this looks a lot better. I think I'm good now. I want to apologize. You know, it is Sunday, the May 19th, and it feels like things just don't want to act right for your boy. And so my bad for not working properly up front. But hey, guess what? We're here. I'm back. We're going to make this magic happen. So we're going to chop it up. Coop is out. Taking care of fam, doing some things. So I'm going to run solo today because it's list season, guys. So everybody's putting together a list. Every list that's put out, it's going to piss everybody off. Either you're too high or you're not high enough or you're not high enough. It's always what it is. So if you're not number one, in a lot of situations, most people will have objections. Now, the great thing is you guys that tune in here on my channel, we have a lot of rationale here. We're very rational human beings, right? We actually understand and know that you're not always going to be the top guy. It's just, you know, the world is not always built that way, and we're cool with that. And so I appreciate you all for that because y'all know exactly where I'm going to go when it comes to a lot of these conversations. So let's jump right into what the heck is going on here. So first off, On3 did their list, right? And the defensive list they put together had a lot of Sooner fans a little upset. So we're going to walk through a couple of these lists, and we're going to do this all live, baby. This is going to be similar to the way I put together a show or a video for the channel. So you guys get to see a little bit of me fumbling around and figuring things out. But this is what's most important. On3's list. They started off with, they did some offensive spots, offensive line, defensive line, linebacker units, cornerbacks, and then safety. So they put out all of these lists of top 10s, and it's by Jesse. I'm not sure Jesse's last name because honestly, I don't care. And it's fascinating what he thinks about the units in the country because honestly, he only gave Oklahoma love really in one. Now, I think wide receiver may be one that we'll start to see some changes or some love on, but it don't matter. And, you know, for those wondering, no, I'm not doing lists. I haven't got myself to the point where I feel like lists are good for me yet. Got a lot more digging to do to get to that point, but this is what Jesse said. Let's look at the one that he got wrong in all of our opinions, right? So the first thing you look at here, you've got your top 10 cornerback units and your safety units. Now, granted, we all look at this list and we're just like, you know, Jay, look at this, kind of crazy, right? Ohio State's one of the top cornerback units. You got Oregon, Iowa, Michigan, Florida State, Notre Dame, NC State, Georgia, Kentucky, then Texas A&M. Next on that list, you have for the safeties, Iowa, Ohio State, all the way down the list, right? And so this is what made this fascinating. Jesse got a lot of pushback on this. And when I say a lot, he got a lot of pushback to the point that he decided that he needed to respond. And when he responded, I'm just like, I feel like all you're doing is putting more fuel on the fire, right? Like the response wasn't a, you know, hey guys, you know, it's okay type of deals. Let me kind of explain to y'all what I mean when I say that, right? Because I was, like you all, high-key perturbed when I saw these. Oklahoma probably has one of the best, at least safety rooms, if not cornerback rooms in the country. Granted, I believe a lot of his thought process behind why he wasn't going to pick Oklahoma was all the yards and stuff that Oklahoma gave up last season, right? And so whenever everybody pushed back on him, at least at safety room with Billy Bowman leading the country in interceptions, this is what Jesse decided to respond with. And let's look at this together as a family, right? He says that, days later, Oklahoma fans are still mad about me leaving them off the top 10 and listing the Sooner safety unit in the best of the rest category. I love Billy Bowman, but he graded out as 155th safety, minimum 50% of the snaps per PFF. The 6 picks are nice, but he also, and when you read more, missed 20 tackles. 22. I think that was the number, right? It's either 20 or 22. 22 missed tackles. That's what he put on there. And of course, Sooner fans did not like that explanation, right? Everybody decided to rail in on him. And I get it. I get why Sooner fans are mad. I don't fully understand what he's talking about here as far as the unit, because if you think about it, this is the good thing that Oklahoma has going for itself, right? It's what we got going for ourselves. Bring back Ethan Downs. The edge room is probably one of the more experienced side, but then you got Dejon Terry. You just grabbed Dominic Williams at the defensive line, and you got the young guys right behind, right? Safety-wise, linebacker-wise, you bring it back Danny Stutzman. Cornerback room, you brought back Woody Washington 5 years in, and then you got Billy Bowman, who's giving you another 4 years in. There's a lot of veteranness there in that list. And then, of course, when we talk safeties, 5-star safety Peyton Bowen, who, as he's putting it together, he's going to be really good. Robert Spears-Jennings. There's a lot of really good safeties in the setup of what Oklahoma has. And then you got the young guys, which I don't like including the freshmen in lists. And it's no shade or disrespect to them. I need to see them at the collegiate level on the field. Right? And to see them in game situations, how they respond, how they play. Then at that point, I ain't even got any issue, right? But it was funny to see that Jesse feels like Oklahoma safety room just ain't something to, sing home about. And of course, me being who I am, 100% disagree with said notion, because everything about this team, the secondary is probably going to be the best unit, the best overall setup for Oklahoma, right? Bringing back the veterans. Gentry Williams had a really good year. We just got to make sure he's safe. He's healthy, if anything. You got Woody back. Kenai Walker had a really good year last year, and he'll rotate well. Kendall Doby is one that's got to get consideration. The JUCO transfer was really good last season, and he's put himself in a position to play very well, even at Cheetah, right? It's just wild to me that the disrespect remains, especially on the defensive side, on the Brent Venables side of the ball. I figured this will be the side where we would see more, okay, I see what Oklahoma's doing. I see what they're trying to get to and all of that. But we did see this in the linebacker room. Because on the linebacker list, Oklahoma's number 4. Now, y'all tell me in the comments, how do y'all feel about Oklahoma being the number 4 linebacker year in the country? Because the funny thing when I saw this and me thinking about this 100% was Oklahoma bringing back Stutzman, who should have been a Butkus Award, at least finalist, and he was disrespected, should definitely make sure that they're up here on this list. I like 4. We probably should be closer to 2 or 3. Probably more so 2, right? Iowa gets, and I think this is what baffles me, especially when you look at anything in the Big Ten West. Any team in the Big Ten West, to me, should always have an asterisk, because that side of the Big Ten has been awful for years, right? Iowa's consistent on their defense, but they always get throttled when they play Michigan or Ohio State. Just what happens, right? They get blown out. I get it from Michigan because Michigan has shown a very stout defense even against good teams. They've shown that against Ohio State. They won 3 in a row. They've shown up and shown out. But the good thing is that if there's one room we're finally getting respect at, it is in the linebacker room. They're seeing, because that is the Brent Venables position on the Brent Venables side of the ball. So it just, I don't know. I'm trying to understand what exactly Jesse is seeing here, secondary-wise, that tells him that Oklahoma shouldn't be up there. Like Bowman, sure, 155th, totally get that he's like using PFF religiously. Now, I like PFF, but I don't go off of PFF only because there's so many variables on the list where, like, it depends on the assignment, right? The grading isn't 100% accurate, but it gives you some solid information to work through. This is one of those scenarios. I don't understand Oklahoma not cracking the top 10 on either of these lists. Just because of the veteran presence they're bringing back. That's honestly one of the things that probably should get recognized. But woe is us, woe is me. That's the things that happen to us as Sooner fans, man. So y'all hop in the comments. Let me know. I know a lot of folks are not very happy in the comments. Totally get it because, of course, I was in a way losing my mind as well. So, all right, I dropped a video earlier today, and this is something I wanted to jump into about what Oklahoma looks like going forward, right? We are past spring ball. Everybody's, like I said, making their list, and the top 25s have dropped from some of my favorite people. So I wanted to look at those top 25s because I'm going to be honest. I kind of like where things are. And I say that for the reason of as long as Oklahoma isn't listed top 5 or completely out of top 25s, I'm not mad. I enjoy the more underdog look and the prove ourselves because in a way we do need to prove ourselves, right? We need to go out there and beat more teams than we typically need to beat. We need to do that. And so you're not going to, and that's, if you know me, if you've watched me, you know that's what makes me, as some have mentioned, a quote unquote purist when it comes to the game. I try to be as objective as possible, even for my own team, because I understand that as good as we are, it ain't going to be perfect. And so Klatt, as well as RJ Young, dropped their top 25s post-spring. And so let's look at it. Oklahoma 17 for Klatt. RJ Young, they are 14. I like, as mentioned in the comments from my boy Lemon, I like that we were high enough to be listed in the top when we get our wins and then low enough for motivation for the haters. And that's exactly what I thought about this. Now, Klatt had a good explanation, right? But the funny thing is Klatt's explanation, and like I put in the video, you can definitely watch it on the channel afterwards. But real quick, Klatt's explanation, similarly to what RJ Young gave, was this. Our schedule is really hard. Everybody recognizes our schedule is really hard because the teams on their list that they consider in the top, actually above us, we play a lot of them. We play Tennessee, right? Play LSU. We play Alabama. We play Texas. We play Ole Miss. We play Missouri. So in our SEC schedule, you've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams ahead of us ranked we play against. So if we walk out there and we win those games, it's a guarantee that we have to be given respect. Now, there are no guarantees in life, so I could be just lying to every single one of you right now. But to me, what that tells me is that we should get the respect we deserve, period. We should get it. We should 100% get respect going forward. And Oklahoma has shown us all that they have the team that can do this. by going out and, we beat Texas, right? We beat our rival. And that's the one thing. It's funny because Texas has given the lie out there. Well, not Texas themselves, but Texas's people, their writers and, folks on their recruiting sites have given a lie to everybody that the OU Texas rivalry doesn't matter anymore. Now they're in the SEC. They got bigger fish to fry. Cool story, bro. Because none of us believe that, right? None of us are foolish enough to believe that OU Texas doesn't matter. It matters. It will matter if Texas is the worst team in the country to us. It will matter if they're the best. Because it's a rivalry. It's no different than Ole Miss, Mississippi State. The Egg Bowl will always matter. The Iron Bowl will always matter. Civil War will always matter between Oregon State. Michigan, Ohio State, the game will always matter. So lying and saying that it don't matter no more just because, got bigger fish to fry is kind of ridiculous. But I like that in these polls that everyone has put the team that we, beef with the most so high. And them putting them so high is a good thing for us because if and when they fall, we going to be in they behind. Every single one of their fans. We're going to clown. We're going to talk noise because that's what we're supposed to do. So for me, I'm Gucci on these. I'm good on these lists. I'm fine with it. Doesn't matter. And we're going to have some fun with that going forward. So as I mentioned, Coop's out, taking care of fam, running things solo. Just kind of wanted to throw things out and flesh the brain. We are in, again, list season, so things are quiet. Please make sure you hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Feel free to subscribe. I'd love for you to join this family. Sooner college football fans. Y'all know what we do here. So, but this one is where I'm going to have to get long-winded on y'all. We're going to have to dive into this because I was perturbed with this one. Now, there's an explanation that was given. And I'm going to be honest, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's some BS. Later this week, we're going to have some real fun because Bill Conley over at ESPN, one of my favorite guys out there, drops his SP Plus rankings as well as returning production, which will include transfers. So if you bring up guys from the FCS or D2 or anything like that, he's going to provide production on them. I think he gives half credit, which, if you want me to be honest, is kind of fair, right? In that situation. But on this one, we're going to talk about, and I'm going to pull this up real quick because I want to talk about CBS and their pundits and their rankings for the coach, right? Now, this got a lot of y'all upset, and rightfully so, because I was pretty perturbed as well. Let me pull up Brandon's. There it goes. All right. He gave us both the top 30 coaches in college football, and he also gave us an explanation of anybody from every single one that he picked. So let's pull the list up just so y'all can go crazy. Did my list get moved? It did. Give me a second. I'm going to pull this list up. Looks like my list got moved. So, gotta love tech here on the Sunday. So, let me add this in here really quickly. And you. All right, here you go. This is the list that was put out by Brandon over there at CBS. Top 30 coaches in college football. So let's look at this. I know y'all gonna be mad. Like I told y'all gonna be mad at this one because this was a pretty ridiculous one. So Brandon Marcello says, of course, you've got Kirby Smart leading the way with Ryan Day behind him. Okay. Dan Lanning, interesting. Dabo Sweeney, Mike Norvell, Kyle Whittingham, all the way down to Lance Leipold at Kansas at number 15. Rotating yourself all the way around to 30 with Mike Elko at A&M. As you all can see, there is no Brent Venables on this list. We don't see Brent Venables on this one. And this is what his explanation for Brent Venables was. He stated, and I quote, he put Brent Venables just outside the top 30 at 34. Oklahoma coach took heat after a 6-7 season in his first year, but the change in approach and coach for the program wasn't something that would take immediately. We began to see the positive effects last year as the Sooners improved to 10-3 and went 7-2 in the Big 12. Now we wait to see how the Sooners adapt to life in the SEC, where the schedule gets tougher, but expectations won't lower. I don't know how it'll go in year one, but I do think this program is better equipped along the line of scrimmage to deal with it than they were before Venables arrived. Jumped up from 52nd. Venables was number 52 on his list last year. He is now number 34. And so I'm going to give you guys back this list of coaches for you to look at. It's funny to hear that Brent Venables isn't up to snuff for our guy, Brandon Marcello. But when you look at some of the other coaches on this list, this is what interests me. He's got, I'm going to say this, Kellen DeBoer over here at number 9, behind the guy that he beat twice at Oregon. Actually, I think he beat him 3 times. He should be up higher. Don't get it. I get we are giving Dabo Sweeney the benefit of the doubt, but Dabo looks like a completely different person since Brent Venables is gone. Everyone's high on the Eli Drinkwitz beverage. They're on the Eli drink. Hardcore, because he's up here. They had one good season since he's been there for 3 or 4 years. I asked the question, why is he so high? Is it sustainable? We don't know yet. So the good thing is, for Oklahoma, I told y'all, I like that we get ranked low. I like that the expectations are high. I like that everybody is doubting us. We need that. It's that motivation for the haters. That's us being able to prove ourselves long term. Again, a lot of these dudes have bad records, and he's pointed it out. It's one of my favorite videos of him in speeches because he points out that everybody outside of Oklahoma wants us to fall, wants to see the demise of the Sooners, and thinking that Oklahoma's going to fall apart. But the one thing that he said it, and he's shown us in the way that he performs and does his thing, he don't want that to happen, right? His goal is to make sure that we survive everything we're supposed to survive. What y'all think about that? I know in the comments y'all are going wild, losing your minds. A lot of these people have losing records compared to Venables. Losing records compared to this team. You're 100% right. We've seen Oklahoma show up, show out, prove the doubters wrong. And again, we have done everything we were supposed to do in order to fix the culture, fix everything in the background, fix all that we've seen about Oklahoma. We've done a good job of fixing stuff. All of our rooms have gotten better. All of our players are playing better. But it cracks me up to hear and think and see everybody sliding us with high levels of disrespect. Telling us that Oklahoma is not equipped for the SEC yet. It appears that even though the pickups we've gotten, We'll talk about that. We'll wrap up talking about pickups in the transfer portal, pickups, and and things that we're targeting. We'll talk about that stuff in a minute. But as mentioned, we trust Brent Venables. He's doing what he's supposed to do to provide the culture and the winning mentality to get us what we want, which is constantly competing for natties. That's what we want. And as you see Billy Bowman here returning his third interception for a touchdown. All the disrespect we keep hearing, my expectation is these dudes are going to go out there and prove a lot of people wrong. So hop in the comments. Let me know. Make sure you like. A lot of y'all are pointing out some great stuff, which I appreciate. Y'all are understanding of what's going on. Y'all know that the disrespect is absurd, but at the same time, Oklahoma's going to get there. We'll get to where we need to get, and we'll take care of it. All right. Let's talk recruiting. We'll spend the next about 15 minutes on that. Be a shorter show today and dive into what we're hearing floating around out there, right? So, as we opened up the show talking, we know going into next season, one of the bigger things for us was we wanted to shore up the trenches as much as possible. So we went out and got one of the best, I'd say the best guy out of the transfer portal on the offensive line, Branson Hickman, bring him in at the center position. In December's window, we picked up more guys. You got your Spencer Brown. We'll see what he becomes. Michael Tarkin. We'll see what he becomes. Fabichi Wewu, who was a freshman All-American. He's going to be a stud. Period. We went after what we needed. Then you got on the defensive line, and we went out there and got the biggest fish that was in the portal, and Dominic Williams. Depending on who you think about, in the winter window, Walter Nolan was considered the biggest fish. The big question was, what do people really think he's going to be there at the SIP, right? How's he going to show up from Mississippi? Because there were a lot of questions at A&M. But we got what we needed defensive line-wise. We got us a guy that's really good in the zone in Des Malone. So we got ourselves an additional corner. I didn't even talk about him in the corner units on purpose. He moved up from the G5 ranks into the P5, and he is really good when it comes to, like I said, zone ball. So there are a few more moves that we know that's going down, right? Adding a Caden Woolard at the edge, which I think he's going to be one of the super sneaky good ones. That's probably going to shock a lot of people next season. But adding Dominic next to Dejon Terry gives you that experience. And I put out a video a few days ago. We talked about a Brandon Lane as well as a Aiden Huntington. And we know that there's a good chance Oklahoma's going to push for one of the two, because he's one of those guys that not only with both of them are they only have 1 year left of eligibility, which if you've heard me, I preach this, I say it ad nauseum. We're purposely going after guys that aren't going to be here very long. If Dominic puts in the work that we expect off the field and on the field, we anticipate that Dominic will go draft after next season. He ain't going to be sticking around. So we just need to add one more big body so the young guys can develop themselves in preparation to play. I think that we have a chance with both if we push for it. Now, I think we're in the evaluation phase of deciding, do we really want to add one more body? Which, I'm going to be honest, I do think we need to add one more body. And it has nothing to do with the guys on the team. I like to have that additional body because we're going into the SEC. as spoken by Klatt when I was talking about his top 25, it's, the SEC is going to be a grueling schedule. Everybody has a lot of big bodies on their roster. We need to get ourselves another one to go up there. And I agree. It's always good to have more. You got to be not only a hoarder, but you got to be greedy when it comes to defensive linemen if you can. So Oklahoma can go after both. Totally here for it. But I do think that one of them ends up being in a Sooner jersey. Besides that, it's June. And guess what's happening in June, folks? Official visit season. Now, you can go check out, the PG show. Boy, PG, he does a great job of keeping up with the players. He's in the chat, losing his mind, saying things that he knows that I'm going to ignore. So, but official visit season is here in June. Every weekend in June, something's going down, right? There's going to be visitors. There's going to be some sort of activities. The last one, 21st, I believe, is the Champion Barbecue weekend, the bigger one. And a lot of big name players will be around Father's Day weekend as well as the Champion Barbecue weekend. A lot of big names. Some 5-star offensive linemen. I think Fasusi as well as Lamont Rogers. Ty Haywood supposed to be pulling up. If I'm correct, Jonah's going to potentially pull up. Williams, not sure. Got to go back and search and see if he's actually going to be on there. But there's going to be a lot of dudes y'all going to want to know about on there. And we're going to start putting the list together. The lists are going to be long. I know PG's been keeping track of one, and I need to start adding to it. There's going to be a lot of players, a lot of people to keep in mind for that. So I don't really have a lot of names, nothing. I'm going to drop a video that's going to actually have pictures, names, height, weights. You know how I do. We're going to have a lot of details that's going to come out. I'd rather put it out down the line than to really have y'all here excited and not really do it. But the list is long. PG's been putting it all together. We know that. Shout out to Stink Ass Cat for another $20. As OU fans, we know that most of the returnees will do, but there will be guys that shine this year that we didn't expect. Expect greatness this year. It's coming. I concur. There's a lot of really good players on the list and a lot of good players on the roster that we don't even really know yet. Like Gentry was a great one to pop up on us, right? Last season. We knew Gentry was going to be good, but then when he got on the scene, picking dudes off and start the season off, you're like, oh, okay. It's funny because Woody wasn't getting attention, but then Gentry started showing out, so everybody started going after Woody again. So that's kind of what you start to see, that balance there. And you'll see the same thing with a Robert Spears Jennings. You're going to see that with Billy Bowman and Peyton Bowen. You'll probably see some play from some of the young players as well. You may see some Reggie Powers out there, some Boganowski. The linebacker room is going to be absurd. That's the thing that I'm happiest about with this squad, is I have zero stress in what we're going to actually turn out to be. I don't. Like, a lot of people are, losing their minds about what Oklahoma is, ain't, or could be. We got a good year ahead of us coming. Right? It's going to be fun. So please feel free, hop in the comments. Let me know what y'all thinking. How y'all feeling? Do y'all anticipate any surprise players pulling up at any of these events? Like I said, PG has a long list that we go through typically together. There's a lot of players on there. I haven't thumbed through all of it yet just because travel, hence why I haven't dropped a whole bunch of videos over the last few days. And as Coop mentioned in the comments, going short, he's not here. I wanted to do something solo today. I normally bring in the collective, but it's kind of dead right now. So I'll bring the collective in next week. We can really debate on a lot more lists because most of the lists are about to start coming out now. Everybody's out. a lot of the camps are done. The kids are out of school. Most of them are doing mission trips, and like Soul Mission's doing some stuff. You're seeing a lot of that. And so because of that, I anticipate these guys giving you all the year that you all want and need next year. Yeah, let's look at through y'all's questions real quick. We're going to jump into the questions and stuff that y'all have populated in here. I did see one from Sooner Legends, from Mike. What's good, man? You asked about NPL. So all the young players will be here this summer. They'll be here for summer workouts and then going into the fall. So there's no more practice until fall. The only thing you got is guys coming in to train. And so there's not really much to talk about player-wise besides previews of who's going to be around and what's going on until we get closer to fall camp. And then fall camp, that's when you get the weigh-ins. We'll probably see the OUDNA get back to going. And all of that. So EPL will show up then. You still got the 2 wide receivers supposed to pull up, KJ Daniels as well as Zion Ragin. So you got 2 more wide receivers that's going to pull up. Pretty darn exciting. You got Michael Patterson McDonald's going to pull up at the safety room. Let me pull up all the people that I know is going to be coming through. Later. Let me go pull this up. I got another good fun video. I'm going to talk about recruiting rankings because Oklahoma's done a really good job and we're proving it. We'll have Taylor Tatum pulling up. Yes, that's a good point here. He'll be in town. Got a lot of kids that still aren't here yet, right? I think that's the crazy part is there's a lot of players that aren't in town. Devon Jordan, who's out here winning track and field titles, setting records. Jeremiah Newcomb, the young corner out of Arizona, who ain't here yet. He'll be here. So when you look at your list, Tatum, Eddie Pierre-Louis, Jeremiah Newcomb, Zion Ragin, Devon Jordan, KJ Daniels. Got a lot of them coming through. Can't beat that, right? Oh yeah, let's wrap it up with this. I know a lot of y'all probably want to talk about it because I know a lot of y'all been talking about it. Who picking up NCAA? Who picking up 2025 on July 19th? Who's ready? I'm gonna cop it. Plan on jumping in the league with the Discord. I'm really hope that life doesn't kick my butt and I'm not consistent for everybody there. I will feel bad. I'm definitely getting the deluxe version, Kyle. That's the one I'm going to get. I'm not getting the MVP because I'm not going to play Madden. It won't get touched. So I don't feel like wasting my time on that. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that game's going to be fun. And everybody's going to have fun playing it, right? I'm curious to who's your G5 squad that you're going to ride with? Because I know that for the most part, Sooner fans are going to have a dynasty with the Sooners. But who are you going to actually start from and build up into a powerhouse before leaving to take the Oklahoma job? Me, I've been between Coastal Carolina, Tulane. Wyoming is usually my go-to, them or Bowling Green, just because I'm pretty weird. That's just kind of my weird team that I like to go with. That Brown just, warms my heart going out there winning titles. Idaho, I don't think is going to be on there. Did the Vandals come back yet? Did they bring back their football program? I think they brought their football program back. I think they did. They did bring it back. They left, and then they returned FCS. So, yep, Big Sky. So, I think I may actually potentially roll with Idaho just because it'd be weird. Now, I know a few people think about going with like Oregon State and Washington State, which is kind of terrible. Yeah, that's what I thought. They're FCS. You're 100% right. Ours taught me I need to abstain from NCAA 14, focus better in my game. I'm going to kick you out. Where is the block button? I should put you in timeout for that. But no, I'm thinking Coastal Carolina is going to be my team in one of the dynasties. I still don't know who else I want to go to. I love this one. Steven, that's pretty funny. You mentioned about Army. And if you've ever played any of the older NCAA games and gone through dynasties, you realize that the service academies are the ones that the video game has yet to figure out how to defend. And every single one of them ends up in the top 10 every season. Like Air Force has been the biggest problem child I've run into for years. Them and BYU. BYU always ends up with really good classes. Extremely fascinating that they're able to do that. So, all right. I've rambled enough for y'all. Hop in the comments. Let me know what y'all think, how y'all feel. Thank y'all for pulling up and hanging out with me. Coop will be back. Should be back next week. We'll probably bring the collective back again. We'll talk about the upcoming. That's actually Memorial Weekend. So unless y'all plan on doing a whole bunch of barbecuing and being out in the streets, I'm gonna make sure that we'll do something then on that Sunday night like we always do. Hang out. I'm off Monday, so may try to figure out something else to do at that point. So yeah, we'll be back next week doing what we do best, just running them out. So thank y'all for pulling up. Hop in the comments, like, subscribe, rate, review, share. Why? Because sharing is caring. And we'll chop it up with y'all in a few days. Y'all stay safe. Talk soon. Peace.